Shalom, 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 shalom. This is your Akazaki Yahoo. And I start this broadcast as I start every broadcast by giving all praise, honor, and great esteem to the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua, Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say shalom, Wabarukim. That is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait till the day that the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High Power, under one covenant. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I'm joined this evening by my most esteemed Kenaniah. Shalom, Aki.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Maki. Shalom, shalom, Yasharal. All praises to the Abba, man, for his grace.
Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. Yeah, this is this is Yom Shishi evening, of course, when we come and do these studies. And this is on the heels of the tragedy that happened in Buffalo. This horrible heathen went in and executed, 10 so-called Negroes in the name of hatred, for the simple fact of existence. He went in and Buffalo, New York, and to a grocery store. The people that were just trying to mind their own business and get food for themselves. And he went in with his semi-automatic rifle and executed, unarmed, it's easy to do something like that, honestly. Why would you do it? But it's easy to do something like that. It didn't take any heart, any resiliency. It didn't take anything to do that. I mean,
yeah, indeed, Doc. That's exactly what I was thinking, man. This is a cowardly act. It's not like he went to where he would have some type of opposition. What I mean, where it would be armed men, armed brothers. He didn't go to the hood to do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
He went to a grocery store where people were there getting food.
Exactly. And if he was really about that action, as he in his mind, I'm sure he thought he was. He would have went to a city of where the population is mostly black, and he would have went to a police precinct where the population is mostly black, and he would have walked in there with a rifle. He probably got a couple of shots off, but they would have laid him down so fast it would have been it wouldn't even have been funny,
Yeah.
And we at a place now where it's really we got to get our minds right, my people. We got to really get our minds right. We bring in this truth. We going through these scripts for the sake of edification for us and for anybody who would watch this. But we're at a place in time where it's really time to get our minds right. There's no safety in this world. The only safety that you're going to have is in the Most High. It's keeping His laws, statutes, and commandments, walking in His way, keeping the belief in the Messiah, Hamashiach, and enduring to the end. Because, that happened in Buffalo, New York. That could have easily happened in Jeffersonville, Indiana. We could have been in there picking up groceries or whatever, doing whatever. That just goes to show you that any place, anytime, if you're not in the right frame of mind, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, judgment can show up. And, I wouldn't even say, well, I don't know. I hate to even think that the Most High would use somebody like that. But I'll say this. You definitely need to be prepared. Because you don't know what's around the corner.
Indeed. And, I'm so used to leaving mine in the car, but it's no good to me there. I can't protect my family with my gun in my car, man. It's got to be on me, man.
Absolutely. You got to be ready. You got to be prepared, and you got to be vigilant. You got to be watching around. How many people? How many times I've heard people hear a gunshot and they say, "What was that?" Like,
Right.
come on, man, get your mind right. Don't ask something silly like that. You hear something like that, that means either get to a safe place, or get down, or if you are prepared, get ready because it's about to go down. If you
Mm-hmm.
hear one pop, you need to be at
It's
the ready.
fight or flight. Fight or flight,
Yeah,
man. You know what I mean? Make a
absolutely,
decision.
absolutely, absolutely. So that's just a horrible situation. That 10 people. That takes me back to that whole the other Gentile devil. Went in that church and shot those people.
Down in
Like
South
how?
Carolina.
Yeah, how soft you got to be to walk in a church and these people embrace you and sing songs and pray with you and all this other stuff, and you pull out a gun and start shooting them. And I feel sorry because something should have been like, why is this white dude in here with all of us black? What are you doing in here?
What's that
And
script?
then he
Trust not in Ecclesiasticus. Trust not thine enemy.
that's wisdom. I think that's wisdom of Solomon, I believe.
Okay, come.
Let's see if I can see if you can find it. Let me see. Get my KJV up here. Yeah, trust not your enemy. But see, that's the problem. Christians don't believe they have enemies. So-called
Right.
Christians, I should say.
Right.
The followers of Hamashiach know they got enemies.
Indeed.
We
The
know
world
we
hates
know
us.
we got enemies.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it hated our king.
Exactly. So we know there's no wool over our eyes where we in some deception that we supposed to be everybody's gonna love us and everything's gonna be wonderful. No, we can read in this book we've been attacked and attacked and attacked and attacked time and time endlessly.
Mm-hmm. I got
I think it's chapter
Ecclesiasticus
6.
12 and 10, and it says,
Oh,
"Never
Ecclesiastes.
trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness."
Kind. So is his wickedness. As you can depend on the iron to rust, you
Mm-hmm.
can depend on your enemy being wicked.
Indeed.
And see, here's the part that's hard for us to really get, because in our minds we think everybody is like us. We think everybody is like us. They see things like us. They do things like us. Oh, surely they wouldn't do that. Surely somebody wouldn't walk in the grocery store with an assault rifle and start shooting people. I mean, that's crazy. I
Right.
wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't
So
do that.
surely
Right, right.
yeah, I wouldn't do that. So surely no one else would do that. That's just not something that would happen. But in reality, right here in the book of Ecclesiasticus, Salika, I thought it was wisdom, but in the book of Ecclesiasticus, hard to get it highlighted here. Never trust your enemy, for as iron rust, so is his wickedness. That means his wickedness is going to be as sure
Mm-hmm.
as iron is to rust. His
Come.
wickedness is going to be that very sure. Yeah, that's a heavy thing, man. To deal with, to lose people like that. I didn't even know any of those people, but those are people from who came here the same way that my people did. They come from the same stock that we come from. They was brought over here on slave ships the same as we was. Those are our people. Those
Come.
are our own people. And here we are in 2022, and you got these things happening. So it gets deeper into that, but we're not gonna get into that. We'll get to the wisdom books. Let's go ahead and get to what we came for. Exodus chapter 16. Abba willing, we're gonna get through chapter 16, 17, and 18 this evening, and we'll pick up with uh, 19, 20, Hopefully, we'll get through about 23 or 24 tomorrow. I'll be willing, depending on how much how thick these chapters are. This one's only 36. Let's see what 17 and 18 look like real quick. Oh, so 17 is only 16, and then 18, 18 is only 27. So not a whole lot to go through tonight, but we're gonna go through it, and we're gonna enjoy it, even though these you know, it's a sad situation, man. It's just, how cowardice these people are, and I guarantee this heathen had every idea that he was gonna get a conflict going, but we're not even in a position to have conflict with these people. So anything he does, anything they do, is just an act of cowardice, because sadly we're not even in that position. So anyway, let's get to chapter 16. Man. The more you think about it, the more it just wears on you, like unreal. Exodus chapter 16, or Shemot chapter 16, and the headline says, Yahuwah provides manna. If you're familiar with this story, we'll go through it here. Verse 1. And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month, after they departed out of the land of Mizraim. So we got a couple of places to look at here. It says Sinai, but let's see what this word comes from. This Elim, Elim. Elim. Hallelujah. Elim. So it's used 6 different times in the text. It means Psalms, second camp of Israel after the Exodus. So second encampment after the Exodus. So this is where they lodged at this time.
And
so
this,
it's really
it's Slakia, my fault.
I'm like, go ahead.
That first place was that first campment was Marah, where they had the bitter waters.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. We really recapped last week when we were talking about this idiot. And I don't know his name. I don't want to know his name. I knew the last dude's name. I still know his name, but I make a purpose not to say his name. He's a little coward, is what he is. And to do an act like that, it takes absolutely no gall, no stones, no fortitude, nothing. If you was really about that action, step to a brother and throw a punch. Right. If you really want to see something. But to come in with a rifle and just shoot people, unarmed people, that ain't nothing but terrorism. That's all that is. You ain't nothing but a spineless, gutless terrorist. And everybody who hang with you and think like you, all of you are spineless, gutless terrorists. So Aileen. Okay, so let's go back. The children of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin. So that's unusual. The wilderness of Sin. Let's see what this is. Sin. Torn or clay. A town in eastern Mizraim. A tract of wilderness between Elim and Sinai. So we know what Sinai is, but we'll go ahead and take a look at that one. Have we seen that one before? I can't remember.
Yeah, Horeb was another name for it.
Khan, yes indeed. Yeah, Sinai, thorn. thorny. So that's what we get when we look at these few places here, a mount, or rather a mountainous region in the peninsula of Arabia between the two Gulfs of the Red Sea, and celebrating the giving of the Mosaic law. So yeah, it's what we thought it was. All praises for that. Let's continue here. Uh, so they enter the second month and the 15th day after departing out of Mizraim,
Mm-hmm.
still in the wilderness. Verse 2. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moshe and Aharon in the wilderness. Here we go.
Yep.
Murmuring. My people. Listen, I hope anybody reading this, anybody looking at this, I pray that you get through your Ruach. The Abba don't like people murmuring, don't like you complaining. You can ask what you need, but
Mm-hmm.
do not be complaining, because he don't like that, and he will punish. So get that in your Ruach.
Come.
Hallelujah. Verse 3. And the children of Israel said unto them, would to the Most High that we died in the hand of Yahuwah in the land of Mizraim, where we sat by the flesh pots, and we did eat bread to the full. For you have brought us forth unto this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. There we go. I mean, that's how they said it. All they had
Yeah.
to say was, can you pray to the Most High that he deliver us some food?
Come.
That's all you had to say. You didn't have to say all of that. Like, you brought us out here to kill us. Like, so over dramatic. Just say, ask the Most High, can he deliver us some food?
We need bread. We need water. He's gonna
Yeah,
provide.
exactly. He know what you need before you even ask.
Indeed.
But instead of having that right ruach, they come with that wrong ruach. And what the Most High said, the Most High didn't say that they prayed or they asked. He said they murmured against them.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 4. Then said Yahuwah to Moshe, behold, I will rain bread from Shamayim for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they walk in my Torah or no.
Mm-hmm.
So he's telling us right here that this is a test. He gonna prove them if they gonna walk in his Torah or no. So for all you who don't want to deal with the law, this is coming back again. The Most High don't change. He do the same thing over and over.
Come.
So we're gonna see this again. Verse 5. And it shall come to pass that on the sixth day you shall prepare that which you bring in, and it shall be twice as much as you gather daily. And Moshe and Aharon said unto the children of Israel, at even you shall know that Yahuwah have brought you out of the land of Mizraim. So they telling them in the midst of their murmuring, look here, you about to find out the Most High done did this. His hand is on this.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 7. And in the morning you shall see the esteem of Yahuwah, for he heareth your murmuring against Yahuwah. And what are we that you murmur against us? Like we ain't who y'all complaining about.
All right.
It's the Most High that's done this thing for us. The
Indeed.
Most High
And
brought us out of this. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, we have to be mindful, just like you're saying, be mindful about the murmuring. We might feel like we're murmuring against the individual, but at the same time, it might not even be that individual that we're murmuring against. It could be the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
His will be done. And we even have to be mindful of our prayers. Like, are we praying for the Most High's will to be done, or are we praying against the Most High's will? You know?
Exactly. You know, we tend to do that. We tend to get into our own flesh, and you know, you gotta get your ruach right. You know, it starts in your mind, in your mental, in your heart, as the scripture says. But you got to get your ruach right. You know, you got to get your spirit got to be in the right frame. And yeah, so and this is who I believe that was Paul that said uh, things written aforetime were written for our learning. So learn from this.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. The headline here says Yahuwah provides meat. Let's continue here. Verse 8. And Moshe said, this shall be when Yahuwah shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, for that Yahuwah heareth your murmuring, which you murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against Yahuwah.
That's a warning. That's, you know, he's warning them, man.
Yeah, get your mind right. Get your ruach right, because you're not talking to me. I'm not the one who brought you out of here. I'm not the one that did all this stuff. I'm the vessel that he used to do it. But the Most High is the hand is at this. The power of your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. This is who we dealing with. We're not dealing with Moshe. Moshe just a man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you thinking you're going against me? I don't have nothing to go for you to go against. All praises. Verse number 9. And Moshe spake unto Aaron, say unto the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before Yahuwah, for he have heard your murmurings. So he's on that murmuring. I mean, they're not letting that go. We 10 verses in, and you know, we at 10th verse, and they still talking about the murmuring at the very beginning. Verse 10. And it came to pass, as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked towards the wilderness, and behold, the esteem of Yahuwah appeared in the cloud. And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, I have heard the murmuring. He's still on this murmuring. He was not happy with this. I hope we learned from this. Verse 12. Let me go back to verse 11. Verse 11. And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, I have heard the murmuring of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, at even you shall eat flesh, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah, your power. So I'm gonna let you know who your power is, where your power come from. You can't do nothing without me.
That's right.
So I'll even feed you. And that's Yahuwah, that's not me. Don't put Akazaki Yahuwah in that. Praise Yah. All right, verse 13. And it came to pass that at even the quails came up and covered the camp. And in the morning, the dew lay around about the host. The dew lay around about the host. I read it right. I thought I messed it up. Verse 14. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoar frost of the ground. Let's see what that hoar frost is. I don't remember seeing that word hoar.
You know, I'm thinking it's and I'm not sure, but it's like some type of it's talking about the size of something small, I believe.
Okay.
And I could be wrong.
Some kind of noun. That's
Kafor.
Kafor.
Yep.
Praise Yah. Okay. Okay, like a bowl, a basin, hoarfrost.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it uses to this. It used the same thing as to describe it.
Kind
That's a bad translation. Yeah, it's what we said. The hoarfrost.
right.
Yeah. Also, white frost, basin, hoarfrost. Look, two times. They put it here, and they come right back and double down and put it right here again. Come on, man. Do better than that with your translation. You know, how we get to this point. And maybe they don't have all the information.
Hey,
Let's see
that's what
what
I'm
else is
thinking.
used to kind of.
And I, and I'm not sure if that was like an old English word or whether they just didn't know what it was and how to explain it. Is why they said it twice like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to explain the definition, they just reiterated what it was
Yeah,
when they
kind.
said it. I mean, that's so we see it here, 16 and 14. That's where we are now. Then we see it again. So it's using basin in first uh First Chronicles 28 and 17. Basin here, basin, and basin. So the rest of the time is used as basin. Oh, yeah, okay. So hoarfrost is back in Job, and then in Psalms as well. Hoarfrost like ashes. So okay, kind. Let's continue. Yeah, I don't remember seeing that before. I'm sure I had, but I just didn't pay it any mind. So I wanted to see what it was, but it is what it say, hoarfrost. Verse 15. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, "It is manna." For they wist not what it was. So he said, so they knew not what it was. I don't know what it wist. I guess that's an old English word as well.
Kind.
What it was, what it was. And Moshe said unto them, "This is the bread which Yahuwah have given you to eat." So this is the bread,
Mm-hmm.
and they called it manna. Verse 16. Uh, this is the thing which Yahuwah have commanded. Gather it every man according to his eating, an omar for every man, according to the number of persons. Take you every man with them which are in his tent. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less. Verse 18. And when they did make met,
Meat.
and when they okay, kind. And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating.
And that's something that we have gotten away from. We have become a very wasteful people. A lot of times, we just buy all these things and they go to waste. You know,
Kind,
rather than
yes.
rather than getting what we need, man. Our eyes are bigger than our stomachs, man.
Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. And I was gonna talk to you offline about that. Remind me because I was watching the video. I'm about to share it with you when we get off of here. That's that was one thing I meant to I was gonna show you. But yeah, we'll get into that. Uh, According to his eating. Yeah, something interesting you'll see, but we'll get into it when we get off of here. Um, Verse 19. And Moshe said, "Let no man leave it till the morning." Notwithstanding, they hearken not. They listen not unto Moshe. Oh my goodness, man! I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Notwithstanding, they listen not unto Moshe. But some of them left of it till the morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moshe was wroth with them. Like, Man, come on. How
I
y'all don't
just
listen?
told y'all, man. You know what I mean?
Come on. I mean, come on, man. Like, why we got to go through this? You know what I'm
God,
saying? Why it got to be so hard? You know, I know you're dealing with 600,000 men, women, and you got women and children. And, I mean, come on, man. That's a lot. 600,000. You know, we
God,
was talking about 400. 600,000. We talking about a whole nation. Imagine what we're gonna be like in the wilderness again. When the time comes, that's gonna
well,
be. Whew, that is gonna be. If we get to see that, whoever get to see, whatever generation that is gonna be something to see.
God,
Indeed. I mean, that is gonna be. Whew, 600,000. That's a lot, but we like 20 million right now.
mm-hmm.
In America, that's not even.
All the Israelites,
Yeah, that's not even all Israel. That's just America. It's like 20 million of us, give or take. So, whew, yeah, that's going to be something. 'Cause I think it's going to be closer to a billion, probably more. I
mm-hmm.
think it's going to be over a billion actually. But that's a lot. That's going to be a lot. Getting all those people in the wilderness. How in the world how do you even consult? How one person can't even talk to all of these people live and in person. You know,
God,
you take it back, 600,000 men, and then they women and children. So we talk. They probably had. I mean, because women normally outnumber men.
that's what I was thinking as well. And the largest populations are always children.
Yeah,
There's
kind of,
always more
kind of,
children than there is adults.
absolutely. Because parents have, because back then they was popping them out.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So I guarantee you, while he talking, somebody giving birth.
right. And somebody somewhere in it, yeah.
Yeah, somebody in this camp right now is giving birth. Somebody is a baby being born right now. So while he's talking to them, that's what's going on. So, uh, verse 21. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. All right. So we got a new headline here. Is the Sabbath observed?
Mm-hmm.
So here we come with the Sabbath. All praises to the Most High. Verse 22. Still chapter 16 of Shemot, verse number 22. And it came to pass that on the sixth day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 almonds for one man. And all the rules of the congregation, Salika, and all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moshe. And he said unto them, this is that which Yahuwah hath said. Tomorrow is the rest, as in the break,
Mm-hmm.
as in the don't work
Mm-hmm.
of the Kodesh Sabbath unto Yahuwah. Bake that which you shall bake today, and seethe that which you shall seethe, and that which remain lay up for you, and keep until the morning. So do what you got to do, get your stuff together, and whatever you got left over, you can have it to tomorrow. But only on the sixth day can you do this because of the Sabbath.
God,
So that's what we need Abba to do. We need Abba to send us something like that, so these stiff-necked Negroes will get their mind right. I hate to say that, especially after a tragedy like this,
well,
but it's the truth. It's the
yeah,
truth.
indeed, indeed, man.
Yeah, it's the truth.
I mean, they don't listen to Moshe.
Mm,
A lot of times they scoff at other brothers that nowadays trying to tell them the right thing to do. I'm
fine.
not condoning. We can't condone wickedness. Can't
No.
condone wickedness, man. But uh, we have a part to play as well, man. You know what I mean? And we got to get our ruachs together and be obedient. You know?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And we got to be obedient, and we got to bring this truth. You know, we got to bring them this. This is what it is. Don't be, you know, faking it. You got to get this thing right. So our people are so deep down in the ditch right now. You know, it's like as time go by, we getting worse. We're getting
Con.
worse and worse. Horrible. Slick out. Let's get back. I get all into this. Just thinking about all this stuff is just it's so heavy. Uh, yeah, it's crazy. Verse 24. And they laid it up until the morning, and Moshe bathed, and it did not stink, neither did neither was there any worms therein. So on every other day, you get these problems, but on the sixth day, on Yom Shishi, you don't get these problems because tomorrow's the Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we doing this, like we would have manna from earlier, because right when the sun come up is when you go out and pick it up, and as the sun gets higher in the sky around noontime, it starts melting, and you try to lay it over, it's gonna breed worms and stink. Verse 25. And Moshe said, "Eat that today, for today is the Sabbath. Is a Sabbath." So they got to read that again. And Moshe said, "Eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto Yahuwah. Today you shall not find it in the field." What you think they did? You think they listened to Moshe? Let's see. Verse 26. 6 days shall you gather it, but on the seventh day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. Why ain't there none? Because the Most High is sending none out on the Sabbath.
Con.
He rested from his work, and you should rest too. Verse 27. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the Sabbath day to gather, and they found none. Now, yesterday he told you to gather double what you normally gather. He said, lay it up for tomorrow, and tomorrow you get no worms, no stink, no problems with it, so you can eat it. Why in the world are they going out looking for it, and they already had it all ready to eat?
Con.
I mean, this is my people.
Indeed, indeed. Clearly, these are our folks, man.
I mean, this is just come on, like come on, really. Verse 28. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, how long refuse you to keep my commandments and my Torah and my Torah? So Yahuwah go to the man in charge, to the one he put in charge,
Mm-hmm.
and say, how long you gonna refuse to keep my commandments and my Torah? I know Moshe had to be like, what?
Probably lost for words, man.
Right, exactly. Like what? Me? I told these knuckleheads. Verse 29. See, for that Yahuwah have given you the Sabbath. Therefore, he give you on the sixth day bread for 2 days. Abide you every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the Sabbath day. So these knuckleheads, you know what? Just stay in your tent. Don't even go outside. Just stay in. Don't even go out. You got too hard of a problem following instructions. It's simple instructions. Verse 30. So the people rested on the Sabbath day. And the house of Israel called the name thereof Manna. And it was like
Coriander.
coriander seed. Coriander seed, white, with the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. So it had a sweet taste. I don't know what coriander seed is.
It's like a herb, man. You put it
Okay.
I'm trying to think what you bake with it, but it's like a herb. It's like a earthy taste. You know what I mean? And it's a small picture like a sunflower seed or something similar to that.
Okay.
Or but
Kind.
not the outside shell, but like the
Right.
inside of yeah.
Okay. Kind. So like the actual seed.
Con.
Okay. So they were tiny little seeds. So wow, they were taking that. And when they were saying when we were reading earlier and it said uh the omer, so that was like something they could like grind it with and make it into, you know what I'm saying? I said omer, I didn't mean omer. I meant okay, we're at 32, so let's go up here. I was thinking that when I read it and didn't even expound on it. Slick saw it as manna and thing which commanded gather, eat the omer and according. Well, we saw that basin.
That was the size telling us the
The size of it.
mm-hmm.
Okay, kind. I was under the impression it was like putting it into a one of those bowls that have a little handle that you can kind of grind things. You can put stuff
Mm-hmm.
in and
And
yeah,
grind it with like a big stone post or something.
yeah,
And I
kind.
stand corrected, because I'm looking at coriander seed now, and it almost looks like a corn kettle. It almost looks like a corn kernel.
Oh, okay. So it's like the size of a corn kernel.
Con.
Okay, yeah, let me see if I can bring it up. Let's see. Let me just Google it here. Let's see what is that. What you did? You went to Google.
Con, exactly.
Kind. That's what you do. Hey, it's the age of information. Ignorance is the choice.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So let's see some pictures here. Kind of do look like a little popcorn kettle. Some of it look like some different. So sometimes it's green. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's what the manna looked like, and then size wise
Uh-huh.
in comparison. Little bits. So yeah, I guess you take a handful of that and that'll fill you up. And praise God. All right. 32. I did say 32, right?
Yeah, con.
Okay. And Moshe said, verse 32, and Moshe said, this is the thing which Yahuwah commanded. Fill an omer, that's what I meant was an omer. Fill an omer of it to be kept for your generation, that you may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Mizraim. So yeah, the Most High is telling them to keep it for a memorial. Fill the
Indeed.
armor up and yeah, so keep it so that you can see that. So that would have been, I'm sure that would have been in the temple eventually. When they get to that point. So verse 33, and Moshe said unto Aaron, take a pot and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before Yahuwah to be kept for all your generations. For your generations, Salika, add it all. To be kept for your generations. And Yahuwah commanded Moshe and Aaron, lay it up before the testimony to be kept. So, the Most High, he wasn't he not sure about his credit.
Con, indeed. It's for his glory.
Yeah, he not shy about it. He want like, yeah, I did that now. Bag it up so they can see it in the future.
Indeed. And,
Yes,
and
indeed.
sadly, we're at a point where we don't know. We're not clear like what the manna look like. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
we've got descriptions of it, but
right.
where is this at now?
It's probably in the Vatican.
Man, it's a good
When the
point.
Romans and the Greeks, yeah, when them came in and stole our stuff. I bet it was in the temple.
Yeah,
For
well, yeah,
the
Well, it would have been in the tabernacle at this point.
Well, yeah, right. This right now, yeah. But I mean, when the temple was built, like when we was establishing the land, that stuff that was in there. I know there was. I know I read somewhere that Moshe. We're gonna get into the serpent on the stick.
Uh-huh.
The fiery serpent on the stick. They said they had to destroy that because these jokers was trying to pray to it.
Indeed, indeed.
Like, man, I can't believe Israel. Israel, what? Good grief. Oh, it'll give you a headache. I couldn't be in Moshe's shoes. I can't say I couldn't be, but man, that would be some hard shoes to be in.
I bet he had a head full of gray hair, man.
Man, I know he dealing with this people.
Right.
Yes, indeed. Verse 35. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years until they came into the land, until they came to a land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. Now an omer is the 10th part of an ephod. So an omer is a 10th of an ephod. So however much an ephod is, an omer is a 10th of that.
Yeah, Con. I'm not exactly sure what
What
the
an ephod
measurements.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Let's see what
that's something, man. I don't know if we ever read anywhere in antiquity, whether it's a history book or even these scriptures of the Most High dealing with the people quite like this, like
Mm-hmm.
physically preparing them, physically delivering them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Who else?
Exactly. Exactly. And this is all for his namesake,
Con.
and just doing what he said he would do when he made a promise to our father Abraham. And then he made that same promise to Isaac, and then he made the same promise to Jacob, even to the point telling him, don't be afraid to go into Mizraim. I will
Indeed.
make you a great nation. And here we are, the culmination of that nation. They're trying to come out, and these jokers is being knuckleheads.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up knuckleheads, some of them. Let us continue. Chapter number 17. This is water in the rock, is what this headline says. And verse 1. It says, and all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys, according to the commandments of Yahuwah, and pitched in
Rephidim.
Rephidim, hallelujah, Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. Let's check out Rephidim here.
Con.
See if we get any nugget there. Rephidim. You hit that on the nail on the head, huh? Rephidim. Yeah, hallelujah. Rest or stay, a resting place. So this was a resting place that they took. So praise y'all. Let's continue. So here they are again with no water. This is now understand this is an ongoing situation where they come to a place where they need water. The scripture says we're going to go into the wilderness again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Uh-huh.
there's going to be situations, not a situation. There are going to be situations where there is no water. People are going
Indeed.
to be hot. People are going to be thirsty. People are going to get tired. Don't start murmuring because murmuring is going to get you punished.
Indeed.
So keep that in your ruach. Plant that in your ruach. Don't start complaining because regardless of who you're looking at, your complaining is taken personally by the one who's delivering you, not by the person you think you're complaining about. You're complaining about the Most High. Verse 2. Wherefore the people did chide with Moshe and say, give us water that we may drink. And Moshe said unto them, why chide you with me? Wherefore do you tempt Yahuwah? He telling them, hey, it's not me, it's him. Ask what all you got to do is say, pray to the Most High that we get delivered some something to drink, some water. Instead, they want to chide. These are the type of words that he uses these words for a reason, because
Mm-hmm.
he's teaching us a lesson.
Right.
Don't do this. Don't be this type. Now, once we get to the wilderness this time, who knows? We may roll up on a truck that's just full of bottled water. As a matter of fact, we may come to a place where there was a warehouse and there was nothing but bottled water, and you a whole bunch of people thirsty. We roll up to a whole warehouse, ain't nothing but bottled water. You get all the water you can drink, and you still find something to complain about.
Indeed.
Indeed. Verse 3. And the people, silly guy, I'm sorry. All right. And the people thirsted here for water. What's that?
Yeah, thirsty. Yep.
Thirsted there for water. And the people murmured against Moshe and said, wherefore, they didn't say no wherefore. This is some old English stuff.
It was probably some unruly words. You know what I mean?
Right.
Knowing our people, come on.
I'm gonna look at this word wherefore. I know they wasn't saying it. I know they wasn't talking like that. Wherefore is this that you have brought us out of Mizraim to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst.
Ain't how we talk. Ain't how we talk.
Look, the act from Sons of Thunder said, this is the King's English.
Right.
Look. Wherefore, look, all of this, and it's one word, so they just implanted that. Look at this. Let's go to it. Now, all of that, look, this 5-letter word,
Allah.
they made all of that with this 5-letter word.
Right.
Literally. To go up a sin. So they just added, that's not even close. Like they just added that in. Wherefore.
Right.
I'm like, that don't even fit there. That don't even make sense. And yeah. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, so they just added this in. So to go up, that's what they was really saying. You brought us out of Egypt, but it's hard to translate from to English because English has so much, so many words that mean the same thing and so many words that mean something similar. Plus we don't know Hebrew as well as we should. I want to learn. So anyway, let's continue. Verse 4. And Moshe cried unto Yahuwah, saying, what shall I do unto this people? They are almost ready to stone me. He's like, man, these folks is getting on my nerve. They ready to do something to me. I'm ready to do something to them. I'm tired. Wearing me out. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, go on before the people and take with you of the elders of Israel and your rod wherewith you smote the river. Take in your hand and go. He said, go up there and take your rod with you and go amongst the elders. Verse 6. Behold, I stand before you there upon the rock in Horeb, and you shall smite the rock, and there shall water come out of it, and the people may drink. And Moshe did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. So here he bringing water out the rock. And here I was talking about running into a bottled water warehouse.
God.
And I was bringing it out of the rock. I know there's another place where I think it came out of a tree. I think maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm confusing that with a rock. Okay, kind of. Well, let's continue. Verse 7. And he called the name of that place uh, Messa,
Mm-hmm.
Messa, and Mer, Meribah,
Meribah.
Meribah. Hallelujah. So they name something. They name it with two names, not just not just Louisville, but the Ville.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they thirsted, and because they tempted Yahuwah, saying, "Is Yahuwah among us or not?" Man, why would you even open your mouth after you don't walk through the Red Sea?
Yeah,
You don't
and,
walk through the
and
party.
leading you by a pillar of fire at night and a cloud of smoke during the day. How could you wonder? You know?
Yeah, God. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. I mean, you was in captivity, a couple days ago,
God.
or a couple months ago, and now here you are talking about is Yahuwah with us or not?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Look, they finna get it. They didn't talk themselves into it. Cause here come Amalek.
Yep. Oh, before we get that, let's see what
Uh,
Meribah and Messiah.
oh, okay, yeah. Let's check that out. Let's check that out. Uh, Meribah. Messiah. Let's start with Messiah.
God.
Messiah.
Temptation.
Temptation.
Uh-huh.
Ain't that appropriate? Ain't that appropriate? Well, yeah, my people, man. I don't even know what to say. Meribah, strife or contention. You want Meribah with me?
Right, right.
You want strife or contention with me? Hope not, my people. Oh, my gracious, I don't know what to say about these. When you read this, you just got to really try to be encouraged because this is sad. And the notice is coming back, and I know it's gonna be before we even get to where we're going. It's gonna be some complaining. It ain't gonna be like it was when they was leaving. They running for their lives. I mean, I don't know. It may be that, but uh, we'll see. Verse number 8. Then came Amalek to fight with Israel in Rephidim. 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 So here comes the grandson of Uncle Esau.
I wonder. I bet they got more than 400 people. I bet this time.
I bet they do. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The Amalekites. The Amalekites. Amalekites, however you pronounce it. Verse number 9. And Moshe said unto Joshua, choose us out men and go fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of the Most High in my hand. And Joshua did as Moshe said. And look at this. That's what I like to see. So Joshua did as Moshe had said to him and fought with Amalek. And Moshe, Aharon, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. So Joshua did. It wasn't no chiding back. Wasn't no why I gotta go fight. No,
Right.
Joshua said, "Oh, let's do it." He did what he said. All praises. I love to see that.
Indeed.
Right? Verse 11. And it came to pass when Moshe held up his arms that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hands, Amalek prevailed. That's scary. So Moshe holding up his arms, and we running it. We running him. And as soon as his arms get too heavy and he put them down, now we getting it. Verse 12. But Moshe's hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him. Moshe is an old man by this time, by the way.
Oh, con.
Yeah. We didn't
Over
really
80.
yeah, we didn't really touch on that. I mean, yeah, he's he's an old man at this time. You know, this days of killing that Egyptian and hiding them in the sand, that was a long time ago.
God.
Yeah, that was. I know we read that. What was that, last week or the week before?
Uh, I want to say it was yeah, about a week ago.
About a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is a great dispensation of time. That's a great bit of time that has gone by since that time. So Moshe is a very old man. We can see here, evidence of that. We'll start back with verse 12. But Moshe's hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, and one on the one side and the other on the other side of his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. So they had to keep his arms up, because when his arms was up, we was winning. But when his arms went down, we wasn't winning. So they had to make his arms stay up. And this old man.
God.
Yes, indeed. Verse 13. And Joshua discomforted Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under Shamaim. And Moshe built an altar and called the name of it
Yahuwah Nisi.
Yeah, kind. Yes, indeed. Hallelujah.
Is that
And I think
my
that's
defender?
provide. Defend. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at that.
My banner.
Let me see. Banner, kind. Okay, so I guess that's what his arms represented. That banner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, this is we with the Most High. All praises. Verse 16. And he said, because Yahuwah have sworn that Yahuwah will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So that who you think gonna be having that war? That's gonna be us fighting with them, generation to generation, until now we in captivity. But it's some I get you. It's some of those people fighting our people in the land of what's called Africa today. It's some Amalekites over there fighting children of Israel
God.
to this day. I guarantee it. Because Yahuwah word not gonna come back void. All praises. This is chapter 18. That's 27 here. So you want to go ahead and take this one out? You don't
Yeah,
mind?
God, indeed.
I'll do that. Praise God.
This is the book of Shemot, Exodus, chapter 18. Yethro, Moshe's father-in-law. Verse 1. When Yethro, the priest of Midian, Moshe's father-in-law, heard all that the Most High had done for Moshe and for Israel his people, and that Yahweh had brought Israel out of the land of Mizraim, then Yethro, Moshe's father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moshe's wife, after he had sent her back, and her two sons, of which the name of the one was Gershom, for he said, I have been an alien in a strange land. And the name of the other was Eleazar, for the most high of my for the most high, for the power of my people, said he, was my help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moshe's father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moshe into the wilderness, where he had encamped at the mount of the Most High. And he said unto Moshe, I, thy father-in-law, Jethro, am coming to thee, and thy wife, and her two sons with her. And Moshe went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obstinance and kissed him, and they asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent. And Moshe told his father-in-law all that Yahuwah had done unto Pharaoh and to the Mizrahites for Israel's sake. Oh, Salakia,
Oh,
for Israel's sake, and all that travail that had come upon them by the way, and how Yahuwah delivered them.
all right,
And
Shalika, I'm going to pause right there for just a minute.
come.
I find it strange that 2 times it referenced the children as hers,
Mm-hmm.
as if she came with those children before she met him.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
okay. You picked that in verse 3?
yeah. I
And
don't understand why they worded it like that, because we know clearly these are, his two
his
sons
children.
as well.
Right. And then even here where it says, Yethro, I come to you, your wife, and her 2 sons, in verse 6. And
Mm-hmm.
3 and 6, that is most unusual. That is most unusual. Kind. Okay. We live up in verse 8.
Hey, we're ready for verse 8.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, actually, we're ready for verse 9.
Verse 9. Okay.
Yep. And
Oh,
Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which Yahweh had done to Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Mizrahites. And Jethro said, Blessed be Yahweh, who hath delivered you out of the hand of the Mizrahites, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who hath delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I
Slick one more
know.
thing. Slick one more thing here. Not strangely, but I noticed he told him what happened to Pharaoh, but he did not tell him what happened with Amalek,
Khan.
because Amalek is part of him. I believe, and that's what we're seeing here. Because here come Jethro, his father-in-law. Remember, he's a Midianite.
Uh-huh.
So he talked about what the Most High did against the Mizrahites, the children of Ham. But Amalek has come against them, and they discomfited Amalek with the sword just a little bit ago.
Yeah, and he ain't mentioned that. So
He not mentioned that at all. I mean, we keep reading here and see if he say something about it. I don't think he will, because again, Jethro is a Midianite,
so
and
did they have close ties with the Amalekites?
yeah. We'll see. We'll actually get to that when we get to what is it? Judges.
Okay.
Judges chapter 6. The Amalekites, the Midianites, the Amalekites, and the children of the east came up against the children of Israel, and put us in captivity when they decided to go off.
Con.
So yeah, but I just picked up on that reading this time. So all praises. Like you said, the Most High, he's steady opening, showing us more and more.
Indeed. All praises.
Yes, indeed. We did. Did we read 10? Yeah.
Con.
Uh, on the hands of the Mizrahi. Okay, so we had 11. So go ahead.
Now I know that Yahweh is greater than all the deities, for in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. And Jethro, Moshe's father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for the Most High. And Aharon came, and all the elders of Israel, to eat bread with Moshe's father-in-law, before the Most High.
Hmm.
And it came to pass on the morrow that Moshe sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moshe from the morning until the evening.
Hmm.
And when Moshe's father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, What is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning until evening? And Moshe said unto his father-in-law, Because the people come unto me to inquire of the Most High. When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge
So,
between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of the Most High and his laws.
hmm.
All right. Yethro counsels Moshe. Shemot
Yes, indeed.
chapter 18, verse 17. And Moshe's father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good. Thou shalt, thou wilt surely wear away both thou and this people that is with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken unto my voice, Slakia. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and the Most High shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to the Most High, for Elo, for the Most High ward, for thou mayest bring the causes unto the Most High, and thou shalt
Slick.
teach. Slakia, I'm
Slick.
sorry.
No, you good, Slick. I just wanted to just point that out. Yeah, he never did bring up Amalek.
Con.
So yeah, we don't get anything. There's no talk of Amalek here, um, which is most interesting. I don't know if he, later on maybe he was. Oh yeah, and then after that we had to fight with Amalek, and the Most High said we're going to be fighting with Amalek generation to generation.
Right.
No, he's not bringing that up. That is not a topic of conversation that he's having with his Midianite father-in-law. Kind. Okay. Yeah, he's giving them some good counsel here because Moshe is basically overspending himself. A mindful reminder that 600,000 men came out of Mizraim, and of course women and children, and so all of them are coming only to Moshe. So there's no organization here. There's nothing established, and that's what Yethro was saying here. Look, man, yeah, you're gonna kill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
This is too much. You can't bear all of this. You're gonna wither away. You can't sit
Con.
here from morning to evening, Shalika, and all these people come to you for every matter. You got to get a better system in place. So
Indeed.
yes, indeed. So let's continue. Verse 20.
And thou shalt teach them the ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear the Most High, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. So he's breaking down that the
Yes,
structure, the
yes, indeed.
hierarchy.
Yes, indeed. And it's I mean, well, that's what they had. That's what he had, and he really didn't see anything different. But I also wanted to touch on that point that he brought, that he actually made a sacrifice to the Most High. So I know he was a Midianite priest. So his job, of course, as in Midian, was to offer to whatever deity that they served. I would imagine that would have been probably BAAM
Mm-hmm.
um, back at this time. But for him to make a sacrifice to the Most High, that is crazy. But and I guess I mean he is a son of Abraham, but we know he's not. They're not serving the Most High in
Yeah,
the land of
con.
Midian. So even though Abraham served the Most High, they do not. They have something else. They do other stuff.
Let
And
me ask you this, Zach, and
good.
I think back in this point, it would have been blatant, observing other deities with him being a Midianite priest, but
Hmm.
putting it in today's terms or today's walk, we've
Hmm.
got many brothers and sisters that are uh, in the so-called Christian church that
Hmm.
profess to love the Most High on a Sunday, and then one of those Sundays in a month in May, they're
Hmm.
also paying homage to Mother's Day,
Con,
also
con,
paying homage to Father's Day, to
con.
pagan days in general. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Uh,
Con. Yeah, I think that the difference, the major difference here is that they do that in ignorance, even though that, again, knowledge is readily available. If you want to know what these days are, all you have to do is go to Google. You can Google everything under the sun, but you cannot Google Christianity. You cannot Google the Roman Catholic Church. You can't Google these Christmas, these Mother's Days, and all of these other paganism, all this other stuff. You don't want to know the origin of this stuff. I even looked up Mardi Gras, and come to find out that was even a Roman, you know, idol idolatry thing that they did.
Yeah, con.
And yeah, so I mean, information is there. If you want it, it's there. You have to want it. And I think that's the biggest issue is that our people really believe that if it's like an ostrich with to stick his head in the sand, if I don't see you, you're not there. And that's not the solution because you stick your head in the sand, whatever's coming, it's still gonna eat you.
Indeed, it's still there. It's still there.
Right, right. And that's the mentality that our people are taking. This is a different situation because again, he's mesmerized by the power of the Most High and how he was able to accomplish all that he accomplished. Not how he was able to, but the fact that he did what he did. And so that's what provoked him to make the sacrifice. Seemed like it would have provoked him to serve, not just not here's a sacrifice, here's a bull or a lamb or whatever it was to sacrifice. But instead, let me serve this power y'all serve me because if he getting in here like this, I need to be rolling with y'all.
And indeed, I want to say that I've read that he left his sons with Moshe and Israel, and I could be mistaken, but I want to say that they dwelt with our people for quite some time. These sons of Jethro.
Okay. Well, we get to that. God willing. So let's continue. I think we're at 22.
Khan. This is the
Okay.
book of Shemot, Exodus chapter 18, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
And let them judge the people at all seasons, and it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for yourself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. If thou shalt do this thing, and the Most High command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace. So Moshe hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he had said. And Moshe chose able men out of all Israel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought into Moshe, but every small matter they judged themselves. And Moshe let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way and into his own land.
All right, so we make it all the way to the end of here of chapter 18 and get reiterate that Jethro came and he heard all that was done to Pharaoh and to the Mizrahites. And Moshe did not mention a word of what happened with Amalek to Midian. Now, I wonder if to the Midianite, his father-in-law, the Midianite, I wonder if he heard what happened when he got home.
Even before, you know what I mean? Like,
even before that,
yeah,
that's possible. But they're like, who are these people that they fighting? And then they, who? Oh, that's my son-in-law. So let me go over here and see about him. And then he get there and he said, yeah, once I wiped out all the Mizrahites, killed them all. Like, oh, he did?
Con.
So, but it's, you got to look at it for what it is. I mean, let's go back one chapter here. I mean, the last few words of the last chapter Moshe built an altar and called the name the most Yahuwah's banner, and he said, because Yahuwah have sworn that Yahuwah will have war against Amalek for generation to generation. And yet, this is the last bit of this chapter. And in the next chapter, here comes Jethro. When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moshe's father-in-law, heard all that the Most High have done for Moshe and for Israel, his people. So I don't know what all he heard, but he heard something. So he
Mm-hmm.
come to see, and yeah, they don't talk not one word about Amalek, like no mention of Amalek whatsoever. Yeah, I had to smack Amalek, by the way. Well, of course he wouldn't say that, but he would have been like, yeah, Amalek came up here trying to step to us, and Yahuwah had to smack Amalek across the face
Mm-hmm.
with the sword. And Amalek came, thought he had a free meal. Thought he was gonna come and just run over us, and we were slaves a couple months ago,
Well, you know
and
what?
now, yeah.
Maybe he did talk to him about it, because I want to say at some point it says he talked to them. He talked to his father-in-law about all that the Most High had done for Israel. So maybe that did come up. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Well, let's
I mean,
get back through it here because
it identifies Pharaoh in Egypt, directly. But
mhm.
if it says all, you know what I mean?
Right, and I was thinking, let's see, 'cause I was thinking about that while you was reading it. Moreover, just in this season, I might have went past it here. Let's go back to the top
Yeah, it's
in the
up
land.
towards the.
Okay, this verse 2. I went back. It's two sons. Talked about the sons. We hear verse 4. In the name of one, the Most High said unto my help and deliver me from the sword of Pharaoh. So that's about Pharaoh. Verse 5. And Yethro, Moshe's father-in-law,
Yeah,
came and
verse 8.
okay, verse 8. And Moshe told his father-in-law all that Yahuwah had done unto Pharaoh
Okay, so yeah,
and to the Mizrites for Israel's sake, and all the travails that came upon them by the way, and how Yahuwah delivered them. So he's giving them the whole account of what happened in Mizraim, from
okay.
him showing up, telling him to let my people go, to Yahuwah showing him that he's gonna make his staff into a snake,
Mm-hmm.
to uh, turning his hand white, or leprous,
Mm-hmm.
to pouring water on the ground and it becoming blood, to all of the plagues. I mean, he's going through all of this stuff. And so Jethro is like, wow, this is amazing that all this happened. And but he didn't mention Amalek.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, he didn't mention Amalek at all. And again, I believe it's because this is a Midianite
A priest.
priest.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say, priest. And so Midian and uh, and Amalek are thick. They in the same area. They live in the same. You know, they both live in Sinai,
Mm-hmm.
not in Sinai, but in Arabia. And so they intermingle one with the other. Remember when we was reading earlier about the Ishmaelites, and it was the Midianites, and
Mm-hmm.
that was back in
Interchangeable. Yeah.
yeah, they used them basically interchangeably, about the Midianites and the Ishmaelites, and you throw Esau in there, and this was of course before Esau, before 25, but you throw Esau in there, and well, no, Slickon, it's not before Esau, that was after Esau because Jacob came. This was children of Israel, so I said they're completely wrong, but but remember he went to Ishmael to get his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He had two Canaanite wives, and when he saw it pleased not his father, he went to his uncle. Just like they
Okay.
said, Yaakov to his uncle. and his mother's brother, you know, they went to they went there for that. So I mean, he went to his uncle's for a wife, hoping to make it better, but he actually made it worse. And and so and he's and I kind of scratched my head on that because you my first thought was, did he not know that Esau and Esau that Esau not know that Isaac and Ishmael were not like thick brothers, like they were just
Not
they didn't get
close.
along. Yeah, they
Right.
weren't close. Like there was a lot of contention. I mean, there was contention there. That's why Esau got along so well with Ishmael.
Because he didn't get
Because
along with
they
his. Well, there was some contention there. You know what I
with
mean?
his brother. Right. He had it with
Yeah.
his brother. He felt like he had the birthright and his brother
Done.
took it. And Ishmael felt like birthright should be mine. It go to my brother. They both wanted what they thought they should have. But yeah. So I thought that was this is my first time picking up on that.
Yeah, and I,
Reading
I just
that right
read
there.
over it. Honestly,
Yeah. I mean, it's just like that literally just happened. Like as we read it chronologically, and normally that's why I say read it like this.
Mm-hmm.
It really sets a precedence because it puts you in a space where you're really getting the full story.
Mm-hmm.
So you read 17 and then you get to 18. Like, wait a minute, they just fought Amalek. And they didn't mention that. Yeah, you know what we did to Pharaoh. You know what the Most High did to Pharaoh. And all of this, like, wow, I'm gonna make a sacrifice to the Most High for that.
Like, kind
Yeah,
seem
we're gonna
seem
do
like that would have been a relevant conversation, being that
yeah.
it just
Oh,
happened.
yeah. Not only did he, put the smack on Pharaoh, but then Amalek came over here and tried to see if he'd have said that. I think that would have caused some contention because again, Midian and Amalek are thick, and Moshe know this. Moshe know where he was at when he was with when he lived with Jethro for that time. I bet he encountered the Amalekites all the time,
Indeed.
and Ishmaelites and all of them. He saw all of them over there. So he lived in Jethro's house for an extended period, and then until Moshe listen, until the Most High told him to go to back to Mizraim, that
Mm-hmm.
the people who sought his life are dead, and so uh, yeah, so he knew who those was, so he kept his mouth shut about that. Like I bet they was like I don't know if they was even burying, they killing them Amalekites and leaving them on if they burying them there, or they just shooting they're not leaving. I don't know. Maybe they just leaving them because they moving. It's not like they stationary in just that one spot. These are
Kind.
like places to camp for a short time. So it's not like we're just gonna move the camp. We're not gonna bury these jokers. Let the buzzers handle them or whatever. So interesting stuff, right? Interesting, very interesting. These three chapters we're going into this say.
Indeed.
All
Good read.
praises. Yes, indeed. Hallelujah. So tomorrow, y'all willing, let's take a look at 19. This seems to go really Exodus seems to go really smooth. It's only 25 and 19 and 26 and 20. Yeah, they're not long chapters either. 36 and 21. Yeah, so I mean, we probably could knock out about 4 or 5 tomorrow. Uh, so 31 and 22. So all praises, man. This has been a wonderful, and I was kind of We talked a little bit before, about the massacre and, this coward doing what he did. And, my Ruach was vexed a bit. The more I thought about it, when you first mentioned it, I like, yeah, I heard about that, but I didn't really give it a lot of thought. And I knew why, because my Ruach would be affected. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, man, this is really messed up.
Yeah,
This
indeed.
cat went in here and murdered, you know, 10 people, 10 people from our nation. And, you know, that's just a sad
It's a
situation.
reminder. It's a reminder of that we're not safe. We're not in our own
Hmm.
land. So
Hmm.
let's not get complacent and okay with being here.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was someplace, I'm trying to think. Um, I think I was okay. I think I went to when I went to watch the fight. The last fight I went to watch was um, what's his name? It was the heavyweight unification bout with UFC. Uh, Francis Ngannou and the dude from
The guy from
France.
France,
Yeah,
Cana,
that was the
Cano
yeah,
or something.
kind. Yeah, so I was in there and I was watching the fight, and this white guy came in and he started talking to. It was me and this other black dude just sitting there. We was talking, and a white guy came in and was talking, and he brought up Deontay Wilder, and I said, man, Deontay Wilder's the best. He knocked out everybody he ever faced. Who else could say that? He's like, he didn't knock out Tyson Fury. I said, he knocked him out twice. Knocked him out in
Right.
the first fight. He knocked him out in the third fight. And it's like the only reason he's not the champ is because they cheated. He said Tyson, oh, excuse me. He said Tyson Fury is a gypsy. They look down on gypsies, so why would they cheat for him? I said, come on, man. Come on, man. You got a choice of a white gypsy or a Negro.
Mm-hmm.
Who you going who come on, man.
Yeah, we know.
Come on, man.
Right, we know.
You can play yourself like that, but you can't play me.
Right.
There ain't no way in the world you can tell me that a white anything, I don't care who fighting, who is what. When it comes to this people, we gonna always be anybody over us is the way they see it. Anybody over us, especially when we started taking over the sports. They made their little basketball and their football and their baseball, and we took it over, and they was mad about that. So now it come to boxing, and yeah, so. But anyway, final thoughts are.
Okay. You had mentioned this a couple of times on the call. How these scriptures that we read are for our learning.
Mm-hmm.
You had also mentioned how the Most High had brought us out of the land of our captivity, our ancestors' captivity,
Mm-hmm.
out of harsh bondage, and did it before. He'll do it again, and this is going to play out again. So I just want to briefly read future prophecy coming out of Ezekiel chapter 20, and I'll begin
Amen.
reading it verse 34, and it reads, this is Ezekiel chapter 20 verse 34, and I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered with a mighty hand. And I will stretch out my arm. I will stretch with the stretch out arm and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Mizraim, so will I plead with you, saith Yahweh the Most High. So, you know, the murmuring and the lack of faith, these are all things that we need to be conscious about. You know what I mean? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Mindful about. You know what I mean? This is something that doesn't need to continue. And we
Yes,
can read
indeed.
here, and we'll get into it later. The
Mm-hmm.
consequences of this murmuring, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
But
indeed. We'll see
yeah,
more and more of that. Slick, I wasn't trying to cut off your final thoughts on.
yeah, no, that's all I had. Yep.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we'll see more and more as this time continues and we read about the times of the children of Israel coming out of the land of Mizraim, what happened in the wilderness, what happened with Moshe and Aaron, and through all of the situations that the Most High delivered us. That's the point of us going through this book and getting into all of this to get some better understanding of what happened in the past, so we can better understand what's happening in the future, what will happen in the future. And
Indeed.
Toda for bringing that out. That is Ezekiel chapter 20. Um, God willing, if time allows, we'll get there and we'll really get into. Our plan is to get through the whole book. Abba willing, and I pray He gives us the ability, the fortitude, and the time to do this on a continuing base. Week in and week out, and we get through this entire book, not only through this book, but even the APOC, and so on and
Con.
so forth. So, all praises be to the Most High, and total rabbi to the Most High for allowing us to do this and to giving us, some better insight and see some things that we haven't seen before, and to open our minds and our ruachs to things we haven't seen. We've read these pages before. We've read
Mm-hmm.
these words before, but the Most High had brought us to a place where we're able to get more. Reopening the book makes us able to get more. So all praises to the Most High for that, and praise to the Most High for you out being with me on this journey, and I'm just thankful, man. I'm just so thankful. You know,
Hallelujah.
yes, indeed, and my ruach was truly down. Thinking about that situation in Buffalo and those people losing their lives, and to in such a violent manner to the hands of a coward.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like he had either a camera on his hat or on his head or on his glasses or something, and he had the audacity to record this thing and probably live streamed it somewhere. And this is the place that we are currently. And as we read about our origin and where we were at that time, uh, you know, there's so much for us to learn from, and so much for us to get better at. We certainly don't want to go and make the same mistakes that our ancestors made, uh, and so I'm just mindful. I have to speak to myself first. I have to tell me, be mindful of these things. Don't do these things. Don't go this route. Don't put yourself in this position. So, all praise to the Most High for you know being accountable for me, and sharing it with other people who are willing to click on this message and listen to it, and this on this lesson and listen to it and watch it all the way through. So I pray that this pricks your heart, whoever's watching, whoever's listening, and good comes out of it. And again, my name is Akazaki Yahu, and I give all praise, honor, and great esteem to the Most High Power Yahuwah, Bahashem Yahushua Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say Shalom wa Baruchim. That is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together, and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation under the Most High power, once again under one covenant. Until that day, shalom, family.
Shalom, shalom.